Well, Amir Khan, the Commonwealth lightweight champion, stunned the British boxing scene last week with the announcement that his next opponent will be the legend, Marco Antonio Barrera. Remember, Barrera effectively ended Naseem Hamid's career. He's a 7 times former 3-weight world champion. Well, at 35, he certainly passed his best, but it's still a dangerous match for Khan. Khan Barrera is this week's Big Fight Review talking point.
Is this a wise move, or is it a gamble that's going to backfire?
Wise move.
It's a win-win fight for Khan.
Great opportunity for him. Great opportunity.
I think it's probably at the right time. It's always great to get a legend on your record.
Sooner or later, you've got to find out. You've got to go to the trenches, and that is it. I think, hopefully he's found Barrera at the right time.
Is Barrera anything like he was?
He's obviously got shades of what he used to have. I mean, it's a good comparison would be Joe Calzaghe, Roy Jones. Roy Jones in his day would have absolutely wiped the floor with Joe Calzaghe.
He's not the fighter he was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I reckon he'd have smashed Amir Khan without a problem.
Fair play to him stepping up and fighting Barrera, because he's a world-class opponent. But everyone who I spoke to feels that Barrera's a little bit old, a little bit long in the tooth, and maybe past his best.
One fight to rebuild him psychologically and then throw him in against a Mexican legend. I think it's a crazy decision. It's a very risky fight.
Of course it's a risk, but boxing's a risk, and if he wants to get to the very top, then I think that the people who are paying for the ringside seats are entitled to see some real action.
It's going to break him or make him, isn't it?
If he pulls it off, it puts him straight back in the limelight and puts him straight back up there.
If he beats Barrera, he's there. It's there in one hit.
He's very quick, is Amir Khan, and he's got decent power. So for him, it's the perfect fight. He's boxing someone who's old, who's got a good record, but he's past his best.
I just think it's too risky a fight at this stage, and I know Freddie Roach has done a good job, but he's now got until March 14th to layer little mistakes that he makes in the ring and that he continues to make, and get it all done before he fights a complete fighter like although a faded Marco Antonio Barrera. To get it done in that space of time, I think it's too risky a fight at this stage, much too risky.
So then, win-win or a rash gamble, that is the talking point. Now, Duke, I was there when the fight was announced, spoke to Amir, and he's got that real glint in his eye. He's fighting one of his heroes,
Well, Amir Khan's fighting one of his heroes and also one of my heroes, Marco Antonio Barrera, a modern-day legend, a 4-weight and probably multi-weight world champion. I believe that Khan will grind out a points victory very decisively and very convincingly. I just think Barrera's just a little bit faded now, and you've got to look at the chinks in the armour in Barrera. He hasn't been winning that many fights of late. He's been struggling against world-class opponents. This isn't the Barrera that boxed Eric Morales, or Manny Pacquiao. This is a guy that's boxed those guys, and there are plenty of miles on his clock.
Okay, well, Khan is bigger. He's certainly younger. But in contrast to what Duke is saying there is a feeling at some stage, no matter how shot-worn he is, he will hit Amir Khan on the chin, Mr. Barrera.
That's why there'll be 20,000 people there, Jim. Amir Khan is a fragile fighter. I think we've seen that. We know that. Willie Limond had him down, Michael Gomez had him down, Prescott had him down and beaten in one round. And Barrera, you're talking about one of the modern great fighters. He may be 35, but sooner or later he's going to test Khan, he's going to work his body, then he's going to land one on his chin, and can he take it? That's why there'll be 20,000 there.
Where do your instincts go, whether he can take it or not then, John, at the moment?
Well, my instinct, I tend to go along with Duke, but the bookies have Barrera as the favourite, and they don't too often get it wrong, and it would only take one shot.
Let's just look at 2 scenarios then. If you're right and he wins, then what for Amir Khan?
Well, then that catapults Khan into a world-class status. I don't know if he's quite good enough yet to fight for a world championship, even if he beats a Barrera. But he certainly bypasses the like of Murray and also John Thaxton. Jumps over them, and he's on his way.
And if he loses, John, does he just drop back into the domestic mix?
I would assume so. It really depends, though, Jim, how he loses. If it was a close fight against Barrera, they could say, well, he's lost narrowly to one of the great fighters, and Barrera could go on to fight for a world title, and then he might not lose too much ground. If he got knocked out badly again, then yeah, he'd be in trouble.
Well, for what it's worth, I think he will probably just have too much for Barrera, but we shall see.